Well, speaking of bottling it, the New England Patriots welcomed the Miami Dolphins in a massive AFC East rivals game. It had tour time coming to Foxborough against Mac Jones. They got rid of Cam Newton because they said Mac Jones would be better. How did the Patriots not win this game? Is the actual question.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of them fixtures where you'd expect a home win, considering we've all got contrasting opinions on tour. Some we agree with, some we don't. It was one of them where you'd expect a full Foxborough, New England, new hype, new quarterback to sort of put on a show, and they didn't. It was very, very disappointing. I thought actually Tua pretty much controlled the game. The 1 point difference does not tell the story. Tua rushed in for a touchdown, opened the score. And yeah, it was just Matt Jones did eventually get his pass, but he had a shaky start. He was sacked within 2 minutes. Yeah, it was just, I don't know. It was just very, very concerning for the Patriots. And I mean, despite not scoring, I think Myles Gaskin as well was a constant threat for New England. He was constantly getting first downs, keeping Mac Jones off the pitch. And it was one of them performances again where on the road, Dolphins did what they had to do and got a narrow win.
Yeah, I did not see this coming. I didn't expect the Patriots to bottle it first game of the season with their quarterback who sold so many jerseys since the 1st of August. And turns out Cam Newton said that he can see Mac Jones winning lots of games, but after that, I have zero faith in Mac Jones for the New England Patriots. I only say to wind them up, but it works well. Cam Newton. Let's be honest, Cam Newton would have won that game. You needed someone who could move around in the pocket, and Mac Jones just is not that quarterback.
It's amazing what you do for clicks. Incredible. Mac Jones, apart from the fumble that was recovered by Jonnu Smith, I thought actually had a solid debut. The stats showed that he had the best stats for a rookie of all time in terms of accuracy. He was finding these receivers regularly. I thought he was let down badly by Josh McDaniels. I thought Josh McDaniels one of his worst games as offensive coordinator. But we all know that Miami and New England is a very similar match. That's why none of us predicted New England to actually thump Miami. However, New England had to do better. And this was the strange thing. When you spend combined $100 million on your tight ends, use them. Whenever Mac Jones targeted Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith, the stats shows that he found them because they're brilliant tight ends, make the routes. But Josh was down like, no, let's run it. Let's waste more time. And then when we've got 3 downs to use up, let's get gradual 2 yards and then have to get a nip field goal. We needed touchdowns. Miami were more efficient. They got touchdowns at the start of the first half and start of the second half. They've got a very good defense. Everyone knows under Brian Flores, Miami's strength, even without Carl Van Noy, is their defense. Even if Xavier Rhodes wanting to leave, he's there. For example, they've got a brilliant pass rush. And I looked at their offense and I was thinking it's not really threatening. But when you've got a defense that good, you can score 17, 20 points and win games. But ultimately, it's the same old story, really, from New England from last season. It was fumbles that cost the Patriots as they ran more Stevenson early on as well. But then the Patriots counteracted with the Jonathan Jones, of course, interception. And then the Patriots grew into the game. And Damian Harris, who did have a good game, and he is the number 1 running back, is basic ball control. He's got to hold that in tighter, but the ball was punched out. Miami recovered it right where the Patriots were in field goal range. And I think it was such a tight game that Nick Folk would have converted that because he was good at that last season, and it would have been a different story. But Patriots were just nowhere near explosive enough. When you look at the weapons compared to last season, didn't utilise Mac enough. And unfortunately, for my personal pride, I'm going to nibble at my co-presenter and say that Cam Newton done that on Seattle. He done it at Buffalo. This is what would have happened. It would have been Damian Harris making it right. It would have been Cam Newton. and it would have been the same story. Patriots just got to control the ball better. The only good thing from a Patriots point of view is they've got opportunity to go, just really go for it, because it's the Jets. So I'm expecting much better offensive performance. Otherwise, it's going to be a very long season if Josh McDaniels and Bill Belichick, who has to take some blame for being the head coach, keeps being that negative. But credit to Miami, I thought that for the key moments and the organisation, they did deserve the win, even if it was by just the 1 point.
I'm glad that you nibbled. I'll give you some stats to help Mac Jones. Obviously, I'm sort of taking the pee a little bit out of him. Tom Brady on his debut, 13 passes out, 23, 168 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, 79.6 passer rating. Mac Jones, 29 out of 39, 281 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, 102.6 passer rating. So he actually on his debut outperformed Tom Brady.